Hey, welcome back. Today we are on Lesson 8 of A Course in Miracles, which, as you can imagine, carries over from yesterday's lesson and dives a little bit deeper. So lesson number 8 says, my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. So this exercise is something you can practice multiple times throughout the day. And basically what you want to do is create an awareness of the thought that's coming into your mind. So for example, right now I am thinking about a person, or I'm thinking about a situation that happened earlier. And you would say, I seem to be thinking about, insert the blank, whatever you're thinking about. Oh, some butterflies just went by. I seem to be thinking about butterflies. But my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. So the whole point of this one is realizing that no one really sees anything. So carrying over from yesterday's lesson, lesson 7, and how the past is continuing to project forward and be what we see in the present moment. This is really about realizing that, you're not seeing anything. It's just your past thoughts being projected. And so when you start to have this understanding, you realize that most of your thoughts are actually, not only are they past experiences or past projections, but it also keeps you stuck in this place of like running through these loops of your thoughts that are just draining and wasting your energy and not actually factual and not actually all that important. So what's really interesting here is that it's talking about the illusions, and the biggest thought one can hold about the past is that it is not here. So the more you're thinking about it and the more you're staying stuck in your entrapment of these thoughts and of these old stories, the more you're missing out on the present, the more you are really just getting caught in your own illusion of the world and of the universe. And I think maybe the best way to explain it, that's just kind of like coming through for me, is how every single person is going to have a different perception of the world. They're going to have a different perception of their experiences, right? But the thing is that it is a lot of illusion. So my personal thoughts around a circumstance, we could be in the exact same circumstance, and my experience and my beliefs around it and my thoughts would be totally different than yours, because we're both bringing our old illusions, our past, and our stories, and projecting it onto the image. So whatever's happening, or the situation, whatever is happening in the present moment, we're both bringing our separate projections forward, which is why communication is so key, because two people could be seeing two totally different experiences based on their thoughts. And this is where like a lot of people end up hitting blocks. And I know for myself too, I'm even like having flashbacks to a few months back. Someone who was working for me at the time, we both had very, very different perceptions of what was going on. And I think both of our own stories were projecting like what we thought was happening and what we were like working towards. And until we started to communicate a little bit more, it was never clear. And it's really easy for these kinds of things to happen, where then someone ends up upset or hurt by what's going on in the situation. But it's because they've been living in an illusion and the other person's been living in an illusion. We're all in our own little illusions projecting what we think to be true. And that's what I find so interesting about reality in general, is that no two realities are the same. We all have our own view of reality, and it's always, always, always based upon our past experiences and those past thoughts. So to tie it all back into the lesson, this exercise is to help you train your mind to recognize when it's not really thinking at all. So we have, depending on what studies you read, we have anywhere from 50,000 to like 80,000 thoughts a day. 50,000 to 80,000 thoughts a day. And most of those are we're pretty unaware of what these thoughts are, and they're just like constantly going. The mind is overactive and racing. And I know for me, that used to be like everyday life, where it was just like so many thoughts, so much overthinking, so much anxiety. It was not a fun place to be in. And it wasn't until I started doing a lot of work and meditation and spiritual healing and learning about the subconscious and doing all my mindset training that I started to realize, like, oh my gosh, my mind's been controlling my life instead of the other way around, because we are the observer behind our thoughts. So we get to get control of our mind and start to like basically train it to work for us, instead of the mind training you to just stay stuck in the thoughts and in the struggle and in the anxiety. So this is helping you train your mind to realize that as long as thoughtless ideas, I love this part, as long as thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, the truth is blocked. So, and like, think about that for a second. Like, oh, it just makes me feel so good. As long as your mind, as long as thoughtless ideas preoccupy your mind, which is all these thoughts, these doubts, these fears, these anxieties, these insecurities, these old stories, all of these things from the past, as long as those are ruling and running through your mind, the truth is blocked. You are not connected to your true self. You are not connected to the divine. You are not connected to everything around you. You are pulling yourself, or your mind is pulling you into the past and into those thoughts. So it's really, really keeping you trapped in a place where everything is very limited and small and narrow focused. So when you start to uncover this and you start to understand how your thoughts are just keeping you trapped, you're able to start to open up and allow the light to come in, or allow the divine to come in, allow that flow and that ease and grace, instead of being so caught up in the force and the overwhelm that is your mind. So this is an amazing lesson, as always. If you enjoyed it, please give this a thumbs up. Please subscribe, turn on the notifications, and share your experience or your thoughts on this in the comments below. So remember, my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts, and the exercise is to go, I seem to be thinking about this person or this situation or this old thing or the sun. You could be thinking about good things too. Like, I don't know why I said the sun, but because it's blue sky. You could be thinking about good things, but I seem to be thinking about blank, but my mind is preoccupied with past thoughts. So just creating that awareness and that understanding of the fact that everything you're currently thinking and processing through is still a reflection of the past. It's still something from your old stories, your experiences. And as long as your mind is preoccupied on the thoughts, then you're not connected to like the divine. You're not connected to that unlimited flow of energy and that unlimited source that is within you. It's there. But the more you're caught in your thoughts, the more you're caught in the ego mind, the less tapped in you are to who you truly are. So in order to uncover the truth, we need to break down these thoughts and create a lot more awareness, a lot more self-control, so that we can stay tapped in and stay aligned. So with all that said, thank you so much for being here. I will see you on the next video. And yeah, that's it. Bye guys.